was an invite that was sent and an invite that was canceled, but we are here. We are not canceling anything, but we will give people just a couple minutes to come into the room. So bear with us. Feel free to pop into the chat, say hi, good morning, how have you been? Let us hear from you while we wait for our friends.
And Danielle, perhaps we could just say Christina and myself were in Angola last week, and we had the pleasure to meet up with Solange, who I think has joined us again this morning. So
great.
It was great
with
to have
Solange and also Maria, from
That's
Angola.
right. Yes, yeah. So it was great to have the chance to meet up as well.
Indeed.
Yeah, that's great. I'm envious. Hopefully I can make it over to Angola at some point in my life and travel more of the continent. I've been stuck in not stuck, but just based in East Africa for the last several years and haven't really traveled a lot since I've been here, but it's on the horizon.
So we were involved in an event, and so thanks again to Solange for sorting us out with some media and communication tools. So that was very, very good.
Perfect.
Yes, thanks a lot, Solange. It was great working with you.
So we now have BIC Africa material in Portuguese.
Oh, that's fantastic. Okay, good. Very good. I guess no one on the team speaks Portuguese. You guys are all fluent in French, and we have Italian and Amharic, but no Portuguese, huh?
Yeah, not within the immediate team, but of course, we're using quite a few EBM members, of course, as experts as well. So we had with us a Portuguese speaker, Sergio from SPI in Portugal.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's great we can have support from the EBN family when we need to cover some other languages as well. Yeah.
Definitely. All right, I think we have a pretty good quorum, so we'll go ahead and get started. I want to respect everyone's time, and also I know Christelle has a lot to teach us today, so I don't want to eat in too much of her start. So good morning again. Welcome to those of you who are just joining us. We are so excited to have you back here with us in the BIC Africa Acceleration Program for Women Entrepreneurs. And we're excited to see you again. So you guys all know me by now, you know my face, but we do have a new person joining us today, and I'll give her an opportunity to introduce herself in a couple of moments. But our expert trainer today is Christelle Khalil, and she is going to be taking you through today's training module. So just a reminder of what our schedule looks like. The bit that is highlighted in green is what we're covering today. So it's all about your business model. How are you going to make your business work? Now, you all have a rough business model in place already because you're all actively trading, you're bringing on customers, you're selling things, but have you really sat down to think about it strategically and if all of the pieces that you're putting together make sense? So that is really what we're going to be working on today during this business model training class, is really helping you to rethink your business model and if the different components make sense or potentially you need to make some changes. So without further ado, I am going to hand over now to Christelle to introduce herself and also to take over sharing her screen. So let me stop the share on my side.
So hello, everyone. Thank you, Danielle, for the introduction, and very pleased to meet all the beautiful and great and committed women in this program. So my name is Christelle Khalil. I am Lebanese. I come from Lebanon. I'm also Canadian. I've been working in the field of innovation and entrepreneurship for the past 15 years in one of the leading incubators in Lebanon and the region. It's called Veritech. And personally, I'm also an expert, mentor, coach, trainer for startups. So I supported startups in many sectors. And especially my heart goes to supporting impact startups. So I work a lot with social entrepreneurs, green entrepreneurs, to help them really define their strategy and grow it, and especially launch successfully in the market. So very happy to be with you. I will start sharing my screen. Can you all see my screen?
Looking very good, Christelle. Yep, I think we can see it. Thanks.
So, so today I'm going to be talking high level. I'm going to share with you the slides, but I want to hear from you as well. So please feel free to ask any question or type in the chat. You've been introduced already to the mission, vision, the product value proposition, and you all have pretty much something to offer already at different stages of your enterprise. The most important question is how to really turn or grow what you're doing into a successful business. And this goes back to reflecting on your business model. Whatever you're offering, if you have a super strong product or service or team, if you don't have the right business model, the business will not fly. Even if you are already operating in the market, it's very important to reflect on how my business is working and to improve it. So this is a tool, what I'm going to introduce today. It's a tool that applies for any startup, but also for any existing business, because it's always good to rethink our business and validate our strategy and adapt to the market constantly. So we're going to talk today about basically how does your business work using the business model Canva overview. So basically, a famous quote that I wanted to share is that startups do not fail because they lack for product or customers, but it's the most important part is to have a successful business model. And what does this mean in a very simple way? It's finding the right model where I have the right customers who will pay for my product or service so that my business sustain and grow. A small video that I want to share, but please, if you cannot listen to the voice, let me know. So can you hear? I'm just testing the videos. Can you hear the sound?
Not for the moment.
No.
No, before I was playing the video.
Try again, Christelle. I didn't hear it either.
Okay, okay.
No, just the movement of the words.
Okay. Just making sure that.
Are you able to, the source of it, is it online somewhere? You can play it directly from.
Is it, I mean, it's a video that from online, but embedded in the PowerPoint. So I'm just, I will stop share and reshare again because I want to make sure that the audio is included. 1 second.
Okay.
Oh. Okay. Can you hear now?
Yes. No. Thank you.
Can you hear now? Okay, yeah.
An organization's business model can be described with 9 basic building blocks: your customer segments, your value proposition for each segment, the channels to reach customers, customer relationships you establish, the revenue streams you generate, the key resources and key activities you require to create value, the key partners, and the cost structure of the business model. But it's not sufficient to just enumerate the 9 building blocks. What you really want to do is to map them out on a pre-structured canvas. This is what we call the business model canvas, a tool that helps you map, discuss, design, and invent new business models. Let's briefly go through the 9 building blocks, starting with the customer segments. These are all the people or organizations for which you're creating value. This includes simple users and paying customers. For each segment, you have a specific value proposition. These are the bundles of products and services that create value for your customers. The channels describe through which touchpoints you're interacting with customers and delivering value. The customer relationships outline the type of relationship you're establishing with your customers. The revenue streams make clear how and through which pricing mechanisms your business model is capturing value. Then you need to describe the infrastructure to create, deliver, and capture value. The key resources show which assets are indispensable in your business model. The key activities show which things you really need to be able to perform well. The key partners show who can help you leverage your business model, since you won't own all key resources yourself, nor will you perform all key activities. Then once you understand your business model's infrastructure, you'll also have an idea of its cost structure. So with the business model canvas, you can map out your entire business model in one image. This works for startup entrepreneurs just as well as for the most senior executives.
So as you can see, the business model Canva is basically a tool that describes how your business works and the relationship between what you're offering and your customer. How are you going to basically offer your product or service? How are going to generate revenue? And this is why we're going to review in depth today. So a few questions before starting. And I'm pretty much sure that you've already covered some of them in the previous sessions. And these are things that you reflect constantly about, but it's always good to reflect again and connect the different components of your business. So what is the problem that you're trying to solve? So anything that you're offering or already or developing newly, it's very important to have a baseline of a real problem in the market that you are trying to solve. It's very important to think of how my product or service will change the life of my customers, will improve it. What are the positive change that it's going to bring so that they find value in it and pay for it? Then you have to think about who are the people affected by this problem. And this is strongly related to your target market. So it's not just about finding this problem, but connecting this problem to the persons having having this pain point that you are trying to solve. Okay, and this will define basically your target market. And the most important part is to really understand who are these clients or potential customers, their behavior, what drives them, why they would be willing to pay for your product or service. The more you understand and the better you will design the strategy and adapt your product or service accordingly. The competition and what are the other solutions available in the market and how you will stand out, what makes you different. The most important also question that we are going to highlight today, how are you planning to make money? So what will make your customer pay for you for the product or the service? And what would be your models to generate revenue from your business? How will you launch or grow your business in the market? So these are some questions to start reflecting on. So basically, the business model describes how a company will make money, very simply, how an organization will create, deliver, and capture value. So basically, how are you creating value? And why we're talking about value? Because you are not just selling a product or a service. Again, you are transforming lives. You are changing the life of your customer. You are creating value through your product, your service, or your brand. So it's about offering the solution that should be unique. How are you going to deliver it? And how are you going to capture this value and have recurring customers going back to your business? So it's basically a tool that describes the relationship between the organizations and the customer. How are you going to create your product or service? What are the activities required? How are you going to deliver it to your customers? What would be your revenue and cost structure? And what are the key strategies and partnerships required to make your business a success? Why is it important? Because it's a very dynamic tool. So the business model is a tool that you can use at any stage of your enterprise. It really makes you understand how your business works on one sheet. It's very simple. It's going to help you keep up with the market, reflect about your competitive advantage, define how are you going to change your partnership, your strategy to keep on growing in the market. What is your relationship between you and your customers? So it's really a very dynamic and efficient tool that will keep you reflect on your business constantly and improve and adapt to the market to grow it. When we talk about a business model and basically how am I going to generate revenue, here are some few examples that I think most of you will relate to. So basically, the business model of a restaurant is to sell food and service, correct? So they are selling basically food and service. Facebook makes money out of their advertising services. LinkedIn offer packages and premium packages with premium features and make people pay for it. Some like Apple sell their products or their apps on the stores, on Apple stores. You can have subscription to access services like a gym. The Airbnb model that takes percentages out of transaction. So these are very simple examples, just to say that every business, successful business, starts with identifying who are we addressing, what are we offering, how are we delivering to the market, and how are we generating revenue. So the Canva. There are basically 4 areas to look at in a business model Canva, okay? So the who, we always start with the who, okay? Because we always, if we want to succeed in business, we really need to have a baseline reflecting on our customers. So who desires our product or service? Who really needs it? Who have a pain point to solve? Who are these people? Do they really want my product or service? Are they going to use it? Are they going to pay for it? So these are, we always start with the right side of the Canva, reflecting on our customers. Then we go back to the what. Here comes the value proposition. What am I really offering? How am I standing out? What is my unique solution? What are the characteristics that make my solution unique? This is where you need to connect. If you already heard about product market fit, this is where you really need to connect the what and the who. So the value proposition should really be corresponding to the who and your customer segment. The how is the organization part. So the right side is the market side. We look at the customer. The how is how are we going to organize internally? Okay, what are the activities needed, the resources needed, the partnership that we need to do in order to produce this product and service and offer it to the market. And on the bottom side, we have the viability model, which is a balance to look at between the cost structure and the revenue. So what is my cost required? What's my budget required to run my business? And how will I generate revenue? And here where we need to do a balance and a profit. So we have 9 blocks in the Canva. This is what we are going to dive into today. We start, like I said, with the customer. Then we go back to the value proposition to see what are we offering. Then we look at how are we going to deliver the product or the service to the customer. Here we look into customer relationship and the distribution channels. Then we go back to the left side of the Canva, which is related to the company. Ask ourselves, what are the key activities required to deliver this value proposition? What are the resources needed? Who are the key partners or suppliers that I need to have in order to successfully run my business? And what would be my cost structure versus my revenue stream? So we're going to look at those blocks in details in few. I wanted to share with you, before we start, a successful social enterprise from Lebanon that is now growing regional. They started in 2017 and they are one of the most successful social enterprise in Lebanon. And I noticed that many of your projects are include the sustainability model in their business model. So I wanted to share this this company with you, and which is called Fabric Aid, and then we'll discuss what they do.
We are Fabric Aid, a social enterprise that offers clothing at affordable prices to marginalized communities. Our first goal is to give a second chance to pre-loved clothes while maintaining a social and environmental cause. Second Base is one of our brands, a boutique that we opened in Mono, the heart of Beirut, where you can shop our curated collection of unique finds at small prices, pre-loved and vintage clothes that you can love again. And now, you can also love again online. Check our website, secondbase.me, and enjoy a wonderful shopping experience with free shipping. When you buy from us, you will not only save tons of clothes from ending up in landfills, but most importantly, you will be contributing to our mission of providing clothing for people in need in a dignified manner. All proceeds of Second Base are reinvested in Fabric Aid to sustain the social enterprise and multiply its impact. Become part of the fabric of giving. Support Fabric Aid.
So, as you can see, Fabric Aid, basically what the problem that they are solving, like we said, we start with the problem, are basically the fabric waste, okay, and the fabric treatment and the waste treatment of the fabric. So there's, from the one hand, people who want to donate their clothes and big NGOs who have a lot of donations, but they don't really treat it and do not know really what to do with it. So Fabric Aid, they collect the fabric waste, they sort it, they upcycle it, and they basically upcycle it into second-hand clothing. So the model is they have a revenue model from their second-hand shop, okay, and they sell online and through their point of sale. So they have two revenue generation model, and they take a part of this of their profit to basically give a fabric to vulnerable population and give them clothing opportunities. So this is their model. They have been really specific in solving a real problem in the market, finding the right business model and really able to grow. And as you can see, they're also growing their impact within their model because it's a social enterprise. And as you can see, their indicators and how they can trace the impact that they're doing and growing in the region. So let's start by customer segments. Now I want to hear from you. Basically, I want to hear from you about who can share, who are your customer segments. So I will ask two women entrepreneurs to share with me and with all the audience, who are your top customer segments that you are now targeting in your business? Who can share who are their customer segments? Anyone wants to type?
We're getting a few responses in the chat.
Yes. So women, yes. So women and elderly, large size enterprises, marketing professionals, medium to large size enterprise. Okay. Women and elderly, top customer are hotels. Okay. So if I take these examples, okay, so Hanan is talking about women and elderly customer segments. When you say women and elderly, okay, I can understand that you can target any woman in any country from any age, or elderly in which country. So the point that I want to tell you is that when you want to define who are your customers, you have to be very specific. You have to tell me who are their characteristics, because again, the more you understand who are you targeting, and the better you will be able to adapt your product or service and have the right strategy. So when I'm talking about women, what type of women am I talking about? Which age range? Which countries? What are their lifestyles, their needs? Elderly, same go for this category. Hotels, how many stars? Where are the hotels located? Are they business focused or tourism focused? So I'm just giving you some examples, okay? Large size enterprises, marketing professionals, that's great. marketing professionals can be in any industry. So any specific industry, any specific focus, any specific affiliation to a certain size of enterprises. I'm just giving you, again, private and public sector. These are very generic words. So who are the stakeholders that you're targeting under private and public sector? So this is, am I talking about ministries, municipalities, or companies? So who are you really targeting? Okay, so thank you for sharing your health-conscious individuals, natural and organic food enthusiasts, natural alternative medicine practitioners. Okay, this is more specific, but again, the point that I want to make is that the more you can share specific details about your audience, okay, and understand really who are you targeting, the better your strategy will be and the better your product offering will be, okay? So I go back to my slides to talk about, so again, when we say customer segments, we're talking about which customer segments am I targeting, okay? Am I serving? So who are they? What's their profile? What are their values, their lifestyle? What do they like? Where do they buy? Do they buy in I don't know, in a supermarket, in a point of sale? Do they buy online? When do they buy? When do they need my product? In winter, in summer, which season, which time of the day, why they are buying it, how much they are willing to pay. So I need to know also their purchasing power. So these are the kind of questions that you need to reflect about your customer segments. Okay, when we say customer segments, you can always offer your product to anyone and target everyone, but you can never have many customer segments. You always have 2 or 3 very important and very specific customer segments that represent different group of people that aims to buy your product and that you aim to target. So these can be businesses, that can be consumers, direct consumers. So you always have to ask yourself, who are the top 2 or 3 groups of customers that I need to target? Okay, this doesn't mean that if anyone outside of those segments come and ask for your product, you're going to tell him, no, I'm not going to sell. You're going to sell your product anyway. But it's very important to understand who are you targeting and to identify the most important 2 or 3 group of customers that will really buy your product and use it and are interested in it. This is just to say that, so it's a symbolic picture, just to say that you always need to put yourself into the shoe of your customer. So I know how much passionate you can be about your product or service, but it's not you who is going to buy only your product or service, it's the customer. So it's very important to look at your product and service, but from a customer perspective, okay? So you can adapt it accordingly. So for instance, if I'm talking about fashion, a marketplace for fashion, okay? I may have certain competencies or design that I like and I want to offer to women, but what do they really like? How do they like the feature of it? What can be specific in the design? Do they care about sustainability? So I really need to look at my product, but from a customer perspective, so I can adapt. This is a small example about Uber. I'm pretty much sure that you may be aware, basically, about Uber case. So it's a very successful model that basically allows customers to order a taxi on demand anywhere through a mobile app. Basically, just to show you their Canva, focusing now on their customer segments, which are, when we say customer segments, again, who is going to pay for the product, who is going to use the application of Uber and order a taxi. So from the one hand, we have the passenger who need urgent access to taxi, easy access to services anywhere and pay in a very easy way and trace their routing. From the other hand, they have the drivers also, because they are going to take a fee from the drivers using the application. Okay, so these are a few examples to look at. Then we come at the value proposition. So again, we started with the customer segments. Who are we targeting? Now we go back to what are we offering to my customer segment? And this is where I need to hear from you again. So who can share what is the value proposition that you're offering? You can text in the chat, or you can feel free to share with us what are you really offering. So who can share what is your value proposition? So can I ask Hanan to intervene and share what are you offering exactly? Okay, so Hamd, so I have one value proposition: catering to health-conscious individuals seeking natural sweeteners and concerned about authenticity, quality, and nutritional benefits. It's very nice how you know the unique characteristics of your value proposition and how clearly you are identifying your service, basically, which is catering to health-conscious people with natural sweeteners and concerned about, okay, anyone else? Affordable, remanufactured print consumables, excellent. Okay, so when we talk value proposition, again, what are we offering? What is basically, what is unique? What's the solution that we're providing? So what's the product or service, and how this is solving the problem of my customers? The point to address or to reflect about is really putting yourself in the head of the people, using your business and buying your business. So what is the solution that you're offering? What's the value? It's very important always to remember the value, that you're not offering just product or service, but really adding value to your customer. What makes it unique? And here are some examples of features, basically, that you can, and characteristics that you can associate to your product or service to make it unique. So for instance, you can work on the novelty of the product. So you can, so is it innovative? How much innovative your product or service is? How much affordable when we talk about the price? Or am I offering something luxurious and raising the price accordingly to reflect the quality that I'm offering? How accessible and convenient I am. Do I deliver to home? Do I deliver through technology? How can am I available in many important point of sales? So accessibility and convenience are really important for your customer. Design and package. Is my design attractive? Is my logo really interesting for people? Is my design and packaging sustainable, since many customers now care about sustainability? Customization. So the more I customize my offering to my customers, and the more they will be interested to really be loyal customers and buy my product or service. The quality, of course, the quality is very important. So I want you to reflect on these criteria and ask yourself really what makes your product or service unique, okay, to really talk about your value proposition. If we talk about Facebook, okay, and look at their value proposition, basically it's a social network that makes you connect with your friends, discover, learn, express yourself, reach relevant. So these are the unique attributes of Facebook, that you can reach anyone in any country. It's relevant because it's very personal and customized based on your interests. So this is very important. It offers you engagement tools to interact with your audience. Then we talk about also the personalized and social experience, the unique social distribution and payment features of Facebook. So this is an example to reflect about the value proposition and ask yourself, how can I really stand out, and what makes my solution unique? How I'm adding value to my customers. This is some example. So as you can see, these are some examples of unique selling proposition. So every business has a slogan. I'm sure you have reflected about your slogan, which is the unique statement that defines what is really the positioning of your business and what makes your brand and business unique. This is all based on the value proposition. So as you can see, very easy tagline for famous brands based on what they truly and uniquely offer to their customers. Now we want to reflect about the channels. So we've talked about the who, what am I offering to the customer, the value proposition. Now we talk about the channels. So how am I going to deliver my products or service to the customer? This is very important. How am I being accessible to my customer? Where they can find me? What are the channels I'm going to use to really reach them and offer my product and service? So a question to you, how are you delivering currently, or how are you thinking of doing so, your products and service to your customer? So for example, when we're talking about the skincare products, where are the skincare products currently available? How can I find them? We have the retail outlets, online store, that's amazing. Anyone else wants to share? Where do you offer currently your products or service? How are you delivering it to the market? Okay, so let's go on. So channels, basically, again, how does each customer segment want to be reached? Okay, through which interaction points, online, offline? This is where we really need to dive and explore. What are the channels that I can use to reach my product and service? And we have seen a lot of rise of digital channels and e-commerce websites that really help businesses reach more clients, basically give more visibility to the business without having a very big load of cost to run operations of physical shops. You can use both channels. You can use only the offline channels. It's up to you to study your strategy, to really dive deep into where my customer is available and where does he or she prefer to find my product or service, and how can I best reach them, and what would be also cost efficient for me. It's very important to reflect about the cost. So some channels to think about when we want to target our customers, you have direct sales channels. So basically reaching, you have, let's say, a sales team, they can call them, they can visit them, they can be present in a certain shop and promote your product or service. You have the online ads, the social media networks. You can sell through resellers, can be online, offline platforms that resell your product. Here comes the power of the partnerships that you need to build. You can use also websites, e-commerce, mobile application, physical channels when you talk about stores, point of sales, vending machines in certain spaces, shops. So these are the distribution channels or the channels that you can leverage on to really reach your product or service to your customer. So we've talked about the who am I targeting, the what am I offering, how I'm going to deliver my product or service to my customer. Then it's very important to reflect about the relationship. So it's not about selling once, it's about really building a customer database that is loyal, to make people come back to you and really keep on having recurrent income from those people. So Very simple. How am I building relationship with my clients? How am I understanding, creating this dialogue to really understand constantly what do they need, to collect their feedback, to promote and sell my new products, my new prices, to keep this engagement ongoing and have a healthy relationship and constant relationship with my customer. This is very important to think about listening. So it's very important to listen to your customers and adapt constantly your product or service and keep them happy. So what's the relationship with my customer? What are the tools that I'm using to maintain communication with them? How am I interacting with them? You can have this through social media, through phone calls, through online ads, through newsletters. It's very important to keep track of your database of customers, keep that communication ongoing through emails, newsletters, personal assistance, self-service, automation of services, events, doing events for them that can be customized to really showcase your products or share any updates or exciting news about your business. So ask yourself, how am I interacting with my customers, and what experience am I creating on the level of every channel that I'm using to interact with my customers? And here it's very important to basically be consistent with the brand, be consistent with your value proposition, and with the impact that you want to create with your customers. If we think about Airbnb, which the business model of Airbnb looks like Uber, okay? So it's connecting houses and people looking for rent, okay, through a mobile app or through their website. Basically, if we look at their customer segment, it's from one hand, it's the host. So it's every person having their own apartment and wanting to rent it because they take a revenue share from it. From the other hand is the guest. So it can be tourists, it can be local people looking to spend a few days in a different region in their country. So these are the customer segments. The value proposition is really offering host a renting model, very flexible and very fit for the needs of the customers. How do they maintain relationship basically with their customer? They have very strong customer service. They have a mobile application. They have a strong website. They keep on sending promotional offers to their customers in a very customized way. And their channels, they use the website and mainly the mobile applications to interact with the audience. So this is where you need, we've covered now the right side of the market. Okay, who, what, how are we delivering? Now we need to ask ourselves to go back to basically to reflect on our value proposition, to go back to the company side, okay, and ask ourselves, what are the resources that I need to be able to offer my product or service? So when we talk about resources, I'm talking about can be human resources, can be financial resources, can be intellectual resources. I noticed one of the projects is related to intellectual property protection and services, the consulting, the marketing. So what kind of intellectual resources do I need? What kind of equipment? What kind of basically, do I need a lab? Do I need what kind of ingredients if I'm talking about skincare product? What kind of technology do I need if I'm talking about e-commerce platforms or marketplaces? So it's very important to reflect on the resources that you need to be able to produce and offer and strategize for your business. Okay, and I want you always to ask yourself about what can be the easiest strategy that I can use? What can be the resources that I can leverage on? How can I reduce my cost and leverage on existing resources? How can I create more partnerships to really have access to more opportunities and leverage on existing resources? Then we go back to activities. So basically, we've covered the customer segments. I'm repeating because it's very important to keep the blocks of the business canvas connected together. So the customers, the value proposition, how am I offering my product to the customers, the relationship with them, the resources needed, then I go back to activities. So what kind of activities my product or service or management of my company required, okay? So do I need to produce? Do I need to distribute? Do I need to do marketing? So basically, which activities do you need to perform to be able to create your product and deliver it to the market? So this is one of the most important things a company can reflect on, because it's very important to offer something that you can really develop and deliver to your customer. It's not good to overpromise or to say, I want to do a very ambitious product or service if I am not able internally to do it and deliver it. So I need to make sure that the product or service that I'm offering in the market, I am capable of doing it. I have the right resources to do it. So it has to be realistic. It has to be matching your key resources, your key knowledge. Or if you think you need help or support, you need to be able to rally those people and get the support that you need. So it's very important, for example, to ensure that you can deliver a certain quantity, that you are able to produce a specific quantity before starting to sell. And so you need to ask yourself how realistic my offering is, how what am I capable to scale? What do I need to grow my business? What do I need to improve my activities? And to make sure that you have the right resources, the right know-how to be able to deliver the product or the service, because this affects really the quality of your offering. And you really need to value a lot the quality of your product and service and your strategy. So it's not just offering a product, successful product or strategy, but or service, but it's very important to reflect about your strategy. So how do I need to do my marketing? What is required to maintain relationships with my clients? How can I build more partnerships? What kind of creative advertising or strategy can I do to increase loyalty with my programs? How can I innovate and improve my products? What can I launch something new? So all these ideas are related to the key activities that you need to undertake in order to keep your business running and growing. And it has to be realistic. It has to be linked to what are you capable of offering and the resources that you have. The partners. This is very important for me, really, especially at any growth stage of the business. So the more partners you have, okay, and the more sustainable you will be, because the partners, they help you basically grow your brand awareness. They help you grow your business. They help you complement your business. They help you access to more important distribution networks. And when I talk partners, I'm talking about basically the network of suppliers and partners that make your business model work. So you have to ask yourself, okay, who are the stakeholders available in the market that can add value and complement my business? How can I collaborate with them? What can I offer them and what can I request from them? How can this relationship be a mutual benefit for both of us? How they can add value to my business model? So you need to ask yourself, who are they? What can they offer and what I can offer to them so it's a successful partnership? You can reflect about, for example, the public sector, the municipalities, the industries that you need to partner with, the corporates, the media people, the influencers. So if you partner with media, that can be a big added value to your business. Who are the ecosystem partners that can help you? For example, looking at incubators, looking at accelerators in your ecosystem, how they can help me, what can I do with them so that I can benefit and offer, I can get more support to my business and more awareness. What are the international players or network that I can be part of? Who are the experts I need? Who are the donors, the suppliers? Who are the academic partners that I can think of? So it really depends on the business. So if I look at, for example, agri-food businesses, what kind of organizations supporting farmers I can partner with, what kind of municipality is working to prioritize agri-food in their region, what kind of industries are working to improve this value chain. If I look at the fashion industry, what kind of influencers, for example, I can bring to do a successful advertisement and influence people around us, what kind of corporate in the fashion industry I can partner with to offer them an additional distribution network, what kind of fashion school maybe on the academia level can I partner with to get really access to more designs and more suppliers in the field. So this is very important to reflect on. And here, before going to the cost structure, I really want to hear from you. So can you tell me, for example, who are the most important partners for your business? So based on your experience, who were the most successful or the most collaborative partners you had? NGOs and corporate worlds. Okay, and what are you? So thank you, Hanan, because you're very engaged. What are you working on to really improve your partnership with them? And okay, I can see a lot of NGOs and donors. So it's very important not only to build partnership, but to maintain this partnership through regular meetings, sharing the impact of your business, doing events and engaging with them, asking yourself on a yearly basis, what can I offer them? What can I request from them? How can this basically communicate the successful impact of your business? So training centers, photograph and videos providers, academic and research centers, independent experts, that's great. Farmer unions, local suppliers. So very interesting. I can see that you all have, most of you have a clear view about who are the stakeholders that you can really partner with. So public sectors, okay. So now we come to the cost part of the business. So we've looked at who are we targeting, what are we offering, how are we doing it, who are the type of partners that we basically have to keep our business running, okay? Now we have to think about our cost. So basically the cost structure is strongly related to the key activities and the key resources, okay? So when you think about your product and your service and you reflect on the kind of activities you need to run this business and what are the key resources needed, you definitely need to add a number next to every line of your budget related to your resources and your activity. So you need to really think about the structure of your budget, the structure of your cost. And here it's very important to reflect on it in a way that you really optimize your cost. So looking at certain activities that I can optimize, looking at certain resources that I can basically leverage on, looking at some areas where I can reduce my cost. So it's very important to ask yourself every while in your business, what can I do to reduce my cost? Okay, what can I do to leverage on other existing resources? How can I benefit from my partners network to add services that can be affordable? How they can add value, for example.
The way they just came because and then they never contacted my grandmother again.
Are you talking to us, or I'm not being able to hear you well? So, okay, you can text in the chat if you want or share again what you said. So I was talking about the cost structure. So it's very important to, for example, if we take marketing, okay, and we look at the key partners. If I have strong relationship with a network of influencers or media outlet or network in my country, okay, that will help me. And if I maintain good relationship with them, that will help me basically reduce my marketing cost, because I'm going to be providing them with stories to talk about my business, write about it online in blogs, write on it in the media outlet. So it's very important because it's going to help reduce my marketing cost. For example, distribution. Instead, I can ask myself, can I leverage more on e-commerce, on digital channels, or can I leverage on an existing network of point of sales and do a revenue sharing deal with them? So instead of opening my own operations. So these are kind of questions that you need to reflect on. And whatever supports you in marketing, whatever supports you in giving you access to more distribution channels, whatever provides you, for example, support in the production, in facilitating the production process of your product or service. So these are the kind of questions that will help you optimize your cost structure and reflect on it and ask yourself every while, how can I really make my cost more efficient? How can I reduce my cost? How can I leverage on existing resources to grow my business? So it describes all the costs to operate a business model. You have to ask yourself, what are the most important cost categories I have in my business? And it's strongly related to the resources you are using and the activities you are doing. And what are the key elements that are necessary to run your business? And for example, here it's very important to look at a strong team. So what is my HR? How does my HR look like? So my human resources, my team. So do I have the right and qualified team to ensure production, to do the marketing, to handle the logistics of my business? Do I really need all those people? How can I optimize? What kind of qualification can I bring to my business? So it's very important to look at your team structure, which will basically define your HR cost and the salaries that you need to pay. Then you have to think about your logistic cost. So am I renting a facility? Am I buying a facility? What are the operational expenses that I have? You have to think about your marketing cost. Your marketing costs. So what are the channels that I'm using? Are they beneficial? Do I need to invest more in digital marketing or invest more in TV advertisement? What makes sense to me more? So you really need to relook at all your cost structure and optimize it, okay? And keep on evaluating the impact of it and what makes sense to keep and what makes sense to remove or reduce, okay? Any question? You can type your questions in the chat. I can see more. Okay, so thank you for sharing, some of you, your cost structure. So I can see labor cost, production cost, logistics and distribution, marketing and sale, administrative, research, which is related to the intellectual resources needed for your business. Here, I just wanted to say again, to reflect on your labor cost, on your production cost, on your logistic and distribution, to dive deep into it and to ask yourself, do I really need all of these cost elements? Can I optimize? Can I rethink it? What can I do, a different strategy to reduce my cost? How can I leverage on other distribution network or marketing activities to optimize my budget? So using a machine, definitely. So equipment is part of any budget, especially related when you offer a product to your customer. e-commerce platforms, so investing in technology is very important because in many areas of your business, technology can be a big advantage to reducing your cost and to giving you more awareness and more accessibility to your customers and to your suppliers. So, okay. So there's a question from Nadia. Does cost structure is only expenses then? So yeah, it's basically the structure of your budget. So what do I need to pay? Okay, what is the cost required? What are the different budget categories that I need to be able to produce my product, manage my company, distribute my product, and launch it successfully or grow it successfully in the market? So now we come finally to the final block of the business model Canva, which is basically the revenue. This is the most important component of the business model Canva, is to ask ourselves, how are we going to generate revenues? Okay. And this is all related to who are the customers that we are targeting and what are we offering and what is the strategy that I'm going to do to really generate revenue from my customer. And it's always good to have multiple revenue streams. So to have 2 ways or 3 ways to collect revenues from your customers. We're going to look at examples, but before looking at examples, I want to hear from you. So who can tell me how are you currently generating revenues? Anyone would like to share in front of the audience or okay, consulting fees through CSR and direct sale. Can you explain better? Can you share how basically you are generating revenue through CSR and direct sales? So consulting fees, training fees. What about other projects? They sponsor schools, girls. So as a social enterprise, they sponsor school girls and we deliver free sanitary pads to school. So basically it's through sponsorship, Hanan. So this is mainly through the CSR that you were referring to. So the organizations looking to support school girls at schools who may have a lack of accessibility to sanitary pads, basically they pay for you and you provide them with free access to your product. Then we have Jihan, who is selling soaps to hotels, particulars, distributors, human. Here, it's very important, by the way, to ask yourself, my business, is it a B2B or a B2C model? So is it a business to business or a business to consumer? Am I selling directly to end consumers or am I selling directly to businesses? And they are distributing it to their own clients. And I can see here, Jihan, that basically your model is business to business. So you're selling hotels, particulars, distributors, okay? And what kind of collaboration do you do? Do they pay you? I cannot hear you if you're talking to us. So selling soaps to, okay, organic pesticide. Okay, but do you provide any facilities to your customers? So do you provide credit facilities? Do they pay in advance? I have a project for an online platform where we will have subscription and recruitment fees. Okay, very clear. Selling automatic injera baking machine maintenance service, spare part sales. Very interesting, because I can see many of you, you really thought about different ways to collect revenues. And what's very interesting here in the last example is that you basically sell machines, but also you're selling a service next to it. So you're selling a product, but also you're selling a maintenance service with it, which is very, smart and efficient, because it's going to make your customers go back to you to basically benefiting from the maintenance service, and keep on paying a monthly or annual fee for this service. I can see you can sell also spare parts, which is really flexible as a revenue stream. So you have many components in your revenue, which is interesting. Here I want to highlight okay, payment arrangement. So it's very important to be sometimes think of flexibility, differentiate the customers that are loyal from new customers, because the loyal customers and the recurring customers, if you can get them certain discounts, certain facilities in your payment, treat them in different and special way to acknowledge their loyalty. This is very important. Whenever you're selling a product, so now you're making me think that whenever you have a strong product that you want to sell, it's very important to ask yourselves, what are the kind of services that I can provide to my customers, okay, to be able to add revenues and add value to them. For example, if I'm looking at a marketplace for fashion, okay, an e-commerce platform to sell fashion and accessories for women, okay? So from the one hand, I have the online sales as a revenue stream, but what kind of features I can add to my platform to make my clients maybe pay for something additional that they would care about, that they would benefit from. Do I give them personalized advice? Do I give them customization for designs they may like? What are the do I deliver, do they pay online or do they pay upon delivery? So many questions to ask around the product and service, and to reflect about what are the kind of things that I can add to whatever I'm doing to be able to add value and add revenue streams to my business. And it's very important here to also reflect back on the partnerships, because you may partner with some players in the market that offer something similar or complementary to what you're doing, and increase your revenue share by this collaboration. So anyone else want to share before I continue? Okay, so to recap, okay, when we talk about revenue streams, we are talking about what our customers really need and really are willing to pay for, how they are paying for it, what kind of revenues I have as transactional revenue or recurring revenue. For example, if I go back to the baking machine, the transactional revenue is selling the machine, but the recurring revenue is the maintenance service, because they are going to do it every year or every month. So it's very important to reflect on what are the things that you sell and get paid for instantly, and what are the things that you can offer to your customers so they come back and pay to you recurrent revenues, like membership, like after sales services, like upgrade for your products or service, subscriptions. Think of what can I offer something better, something add on my current offering, what will make them come back and pay for something recurrent in a recurrent way. So revenues can be transactional, like we said, and recurring revenues resulting from ongoing payments. So when we look at some examples of revenue generation models, okay, we can think of product and service sales. So when you visit a certain shopping center or a point of sale, you are buying something, you are buying a product. When you're visiting a bank, when you're going to a restaurant, you are also buying for a service, correct? If you're going to the hotel. So it's very important to differentiate the sales of a product and the sales of a service. So can be both. What makes, when we talk sales of products, we're here, the quality is very important, the branding is very important, and the customer experience in the shop is very important. When we talk about a service sales, okay, like a bank or a hotel or a spa, here the human service is very, very, very important. So how hospitable is the team, how clean is the space, how knowledgeable they are, how they are assisting me, how they are benefiting me through the service and the advice they are giving. So what makes a bank, for example, or a hotel different from one to the other is the quality of the human personnel, the quality of the service they provide, the interaction they do with the customers. The more personal you are and the better it is, and you have tendencies to retain your customers. It's good to reflect also about online channels. So when we talk about e-commerce and sales of products online, it's very good to think about my website, my e-commerce. How does it look like? How is it easy for me to find your products online? How catchy it is? What are the information that you are offering that are associated with your product? How clear is this? How easy my call to action will be? How easy is to buy your product online? Same goes for service. So these are some points to reflect on. Then there is the subscription model. So am I subscribing to, let's say, a training academy? What are the services that I'm getting? Am I subscribing to a certain mobile application that is giving me a certain added value? What kind of services am I subscribing to? And it's very important to reflect about the quality, okay, here, and to reflect about different packages. This is very interesting and smart to have different packages of subscription. Can be monthly, can be yearly, can be by feature, can be by service requested. So the more flexibility I have and the more packages I have, with benefits, of course, and the better it will be for your business. Am I doing a model that I'm growing as a license or franchising model? Am I opening a small restaurant or a training academy that I want to license or franchise? And here comes the network of partners I can collaborate with in order to run my franchise and grow it in different regions or in different industries. Is it a freemium model? So do I invite people to access my platform for free? And then when I have a very big community, like Facebook, for example, they started with a freemium model, but then when they had a very good and big community, they started monetizing through the advertisement and through collaboration with other companies wanting to do advertisement on their platform. So one point to reflect on here, and it's very important, whatever you do, okay, think of your customers like partners, like a community you are building. This is where really the customer relation in your business is very important. So the more you build a community around you, clients, of suppliers, of partners, the more you interact with this community, the more you respond to their needs, the more you keep them loyal, the business will succeed. So it's all about the people, okay? Talking to people, not just selling. So I'm talking to people, I'm connecting with their emotions, with what they want, I'm keeping them happy, engaged, I'm growing with them, think of them as partners. So this is very important. The community building part, it's a big asset for your business. Advertising model. So basically, if you are working online or if you are selling a certain product, what kind of advertising I can do to other parties what kind of tools can I suggest to them so they use it as advertisement for their brands and make money out of it? Data monetization. Data is very important. So, for example, if you work in a certain industry that you are generating data out of it, whether education or health or environment, and you are able to sell this data to other parties, to the government, so they can use to build programs, to build services. Data is very important. So if you find ways to generate data and be able to monetize it, this is where it's very important to tell you that if you are doing impact in your business or if you are generating knowledge, it's very important to note this data. So keep track of it, keep them filed. You never know how you can use them later on. Transaction, donation model, rental model. So these are the examples that, the main examples that I want to share with you. The most important part is to ask yourself again, basically to think from your customer perspective, okay? Why, to ask yourself, why my customer will pay for my product or service? How will they pay? Are they able to pay? And to connect with their purchasing power, what can I do to add revenues to my company and sustain? What kind of partnerships I can develop? What kind of customers I can target? Okay, and the more specific you are, again, the better strategy you will have. And this is where we're going to do another session about go-to-market strategy, which is based on understanding your customers and how are you generating revenue. So another example as a recap to look at LinkedIn. So LinkedIn, okay, if I want to go back from the way we exposed all the blocks of the canvas, okay, so you can relate to it, we started with the customer segments. So customer segments of LinkedIn, they are basically internet users looking for a job from the one hand, from the other hand, the recruiters looking to hire talents. The advertisers, okay, paying to promote certain services related to LinkedIn, and the developers, because they are basically using this platform to create opportunities for them. What is the value proposition of LinkedIn? It's to manage professional networks, okay? So it's a business network of professionals to generate, to use it as a network to basically expand your work opportunities or create business opportunities, but on a business level. So to identify and connect with the right talents, to reach the right professional audience, okay? What is the relationship that LinkedIn follow with their customers? Basically, it's a network. It's really related to the way they engage with the audience and the members of the network, how the kind of content, I would say in LinkedIn, the content sharing and the knowledge hubs that they have is very important. The feature that they include in their platform for people to connect, to follow trends, to learn from each other. So how they embedded and included tools, engagement and sharing tools in their platform is really very interesting. And of course, on the level of channels, we're talking about the website and the mobile application. Now, if we look at their key activities, it's basically related to managing the platform and the marketing of it. The key resources is a technology part of LinkedIn. So it's based on a technology platform. The key partners are data centers and content providers. On the level of anyone wants to share anything? I heard someone talking. So let's look at the revenue and the cost structure of LinkedIn. Basically, the cost is related to their main activities and main resources needed to keep this technology platform ongoing. On the level of partners, I would really highlight more also the partners with all the recruiters, all the talents, all the academia. So we can think much beyond than what is written here. So what kind of partners is LinkedIn having to keep the business running. On the level of the cost, so as you can see, it's related to general management, it's related to technology, it's related to content, to product development, and to marketing. And on the side of the revenue, so it's premium subscription, basically hiring solutions and marketing solutions for businesses, for companies. So this is a small example to recap our session. If I go back to the main Canva, so this is a sum up of the Canva that you need to do. I know that most of you may have done it so far for their businesses. Some of you are rethinking your businesses to grow, okay? But it was a highlight of the main things to think about or consider when you build a strong business model, okay? It's the time to also rethink of it in case you plan to grow your business, okay? So think about, am I really targeting the right customer? Is there any segment that I need to look at? Anything new in the market? How can I collect feedback from my customer to adjust my value proposition? What kind of features they want, what kind of services they want, how can I make it better? So you can revisit your value proposition. And then once you have it clear, you can rethink also your strategy to the market. So am I using the right channels? Am I using the right way to promote my business? Am I developing the right content? Okay. Then am I doing the right activities? What can I improve? How can I improve my quality? To look a bit at the structure of your team. Do I have the right team? Do I need to hire or partner with experts who bring in additional qualification to my team, and which will affect basically a better management and a better offering of your business? Do I have the right partners? Anyone I can think of, anyone I can think about in my country, in another region? How can I really benefit from other partners' network or suppliers to rethink my business strategy? Also reflect on your cost and your revenue, like I said. So this is a very important. At the end, the business, you need to sustain and generate revenue. And you need to think about how you are going to grow, not only sustain your business, but how are you going to grow? And in case you want to grow, how your business model would look like. How will I grow? Will I grow using technology platform? Will I grow by establishing new partnership, by opening a new branch, by targeting a new client, by developing a new product, by expanding, by developing my product and creating several categories, new categories? So what am I doing today? Okay, it's very important to reflect on how am I running my business today, okay? What I can do better, right? And it's very important to integrate the feedback of the market in your process, to do surveys with your clients, to interact with them, to call them, to engage with them, to hear their feedback. So you build your strategy accordingly. And the final question that I want you to keep from this also is, how can I rethink my business model to grow my business? Okay, so what can I do also to grow, not only to sustain my business, but what can I do to grow my business, and how this business model would look like if I decide to grow my business? So now I want to hear from you. Okay, I'm done with my slides. It's maybe too much information, but I want to hear from you in case you have any other question, in case you basically want to share any strategy that you're doing, in case you are thinking of growing your business or you need any support in one of the areas that I explained about. So anyone has any question? Just a second. So, okay. I am sure all entrepreneurs want to learn about growth strategy, sure, but to learn about growth strategy and you're going to think of it, also you're going to get the chance to think of it with all the sessions, upcoming sessions, and all my colleagues and experts that will share their knowledge. But before thinking about your growth, okay, Hanan, you have to think of how am I doing it today? So you have to think about how your business is working today, okay? Where you want to go, what's your goal, what are the opportunities in the market, how will I do it, what is feasible, what can I deliver, and then define your strategy accordingly. I'm thinking in growing by a multi-services platform. That's amazing, but what I would share with you here as a tip, Solange, is doing it step by step. Okay, so stay focused. Even if you want to grow and add services, more platforms or more services, one, validate what is the service requested by the customers. They are willing to pay for it. So get feedback from them. What would be the platform relevant and what would be step by step the services that I can add? If you can share with us, please. Hanan, what do you want me to share with you? The slides, I will share them with you. But if you have any other requests to share, please type it again. So I started by a soap company for particulars. I have decided to develop my business model and sell to hotels and scale hotel soap to more hotels. That's amazing. So you started by a B2C model, business to customer. Then you have thought of it to sell to businesses like hotels, which is great. My key advice for you is really focus on the most important hotels that would generate a big amount of revenues for you and focus on how you can really sustain and build your relationship with them. To take it all and bring it back home. Thank you for the lesson. Okay, thank you. I'm sure you're gonna need to read again the slides, too many information. How can a company build its value proposition around sustainability? It's very important, this question, really. Whatever you do, whatever you offer, product or service, it's very important to think about the impact that is associated to your product and service, and how can you link it to a social or environmental impact. So for example, if I noted a bit the ideas of your projects, if I'm working in fashion and e-commerce, how can I link this to reduce waste in fashion and create environmental impact? If I have a training at that academy in agribusiness field, which kind of audience am I training? Am I expanding knowledge? Am I helping them grow impact in their agribusiness? And how am I doing this? So it's very important to link your product or service to potential impact that it can create, to measure it and communicate about it. Okay, so how can I rethink my business to have positive impact on education, on environment, on health, on job creation? How can I look at it? Who are the people that I'm helping? Who are the people that I'm selling? Who are the people that I'm partnering with? And how can we together build an impact model? So it's very interesting, a question, and important. Now the customers, the more impact you create, the more loyal they are. Everyone cares about impact now. So I guess that's it. No more questions. Anyway, my email, I'm going to leave it to you, Danielle, back to you. I think I took, so.
That's perfect. Thank you so much, Christelle. Thank you for the insights, for teaching them about the business model canvas. If you want to pop your email into the chat so that they have it immediately, that's great. If not, then it can always be added later into the LinkedIn group. Or
I didn't hear you. I want to add what? My email?
You want to add your email into the chat, you were mentioning it.
Sure.
Great. So thank you very much. So ladies, the business model canvas is a great tool to iterate your business model. I like to recommend that you use Post-it notes as you're going through the process, because then you can easily swap things out and change your mind about stuff. And remember, business is always going to be iterative. So even if you have a business model right now that's working, you might want to change it in a couple of years' time, or the market changes, or conditions change, or your customer base changes. So it's a super useful tool to keep in your toolkit as you go through the years of running your business. So thank you again, Christelle, for teaching the ladies about this super useful tool. Before we wrap up, I just want to share about what's next. So next week you have, why are my slides not moving? Next week, you have another coaching session with me. This is our second coaching session. We're going to be talking about money mindsets. Money is such an integral part of entrepreneurship, and we have so many beliefs that come from, even from our childhoods, that impact the way that we view money and the way that we work with money and the way that we receive money. And all of these things can really have an impact on our entrepreneurship journey. So we'll be tackling what these money mindsets look like, how to maybe overcome any blocks that you're experiencing so that you can start to feel more confident about money. And this will lead us really nicely into our next training session taking place the following week, which is going to be around the topic of finance within your organization. So look out for that. You'll be back here next week with me for that coaching session. And don't forget, this Friday is the deadline for your motivation letter to apply for the mentoring opportunity. So if you haven't done so already, please, by this Friday, the 24th, sorry, it's the Thursday, the 24th, no, it's Friday. I'm losing a day here. So Friday, the 24th of May, please send your motivation letter to Christina, CCing Robert and Dawit, just sharing why you want to apply for the mentoring, why you think it could benefit you, and also sharing some of the topics that you would like to work on during that mentoring experience. That will really help us to pair you up with the right experts. So if you haven't done that already, and if you're keen to be paired with a mentor, please make sure you submit that motivation letter by Friday, okay? So Marek, you're asking, what are the mentorship options that you may choose? It's really, do you mean like the topics that you can choose from, or do you mean the structure of the mentoring itself? Just clarify for me the topics. Anything that your business is really struggling with, right? So maybe work with your mentor on this business model canvas that Christelle has just shown to us. Or maybe you want to even go back to some of the previous sessions and work on your values and your vision and your mission. Or indeed, you might have something specific that's already going on within your business that you could use some expert support on. So maybe you have a human resources challenge with hiring people or managing people, or maybe you have a logistics challenge with managing your suppliers or your distribution. Maybe you have a cash flow issue and you really need someone to support you with understanding better what your finances need to look like. So we don't dictate what that topic should be for you. It's really up for you to tell us, where could you really use some additional support? Where do you think you could benefit the most? And that way we can pair you up with someone who has, hopefully, that expertise to really support you in. So the clearer that you can be about that, the better. If you don't know, maybe you don't know, maybe you feel like, okay, I'm new to this business thing and there's so many things that I have no idea about and I would like to learn about all of them. That's okay. Just share that too, and just say, hey, you know, I'm just looking for that extra support to carry me through this journey. And then when you have that mentor, you have access to 4 hours of her time between June and the end of July. That is typically split into 1 hour sessions, but if it needs to be longer, that of course can be something that you can agree with your mentor amongst the two of you. To really make sure that you're making as much progress as possible, okay? So whatever it is that you feel like you need that extra help with, just put that in the letter. I hope that helps, Marek.
Thank you, Danielle. And yes, we're looking forward to receiving your motivational statements and And yeah, thanks Daniel for highlighting that. Please don't hesitate to send them by the 24th, by the end of this week. Thank you.
And Christina, they're asking for you to also just share your email address for that. So perhaps you can either put it in the chat or you can put it into the WhatsApp group or even indeed by email later on. But you ladies should mostly have Christina's address. She's the one that
previously sent all of you emails. So normally in the emails you should have my address and also Robert and David, but I'll just in case I'll still put them in the chat right now. Thanks.
Great. And Wani, I see that you've mentioned some of us have sent it already. That's great. As soon as the deadline comes on Friday, Christina and the team will start to review them and they'll get in touch with you with next steps in due course. So don't stress that you haven't received any sort of reply yet. Christina has just come back from Angola where they were on a mission. So I know that she's been off email for a bit, but I promise that she will get to them along with the rest of the team in the coming week. And then you'll have some more information and you'll have some, more details of who you've been paired with and things like that.
Yes, exactly. Thanks, Danielle. Indeed, I received already a couple of them, so I'll get back to you. And thank you for those of you who already sent your motivational statement. Thanks.
Perfect. All right. Well, we are over time just slightly. So without further ado, unless you guys have some questions or some additional comments, let me know in the chat if you do. But if not, then we will see you again next week. Same time, same place, same link. And we will be talking about coaching, money mindsets in our coaching session. Okay.
Okay,
thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Great week.
Bye.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Next
Bye.
week. Bye, everyone.
Thanks. Bye-bye.